Hello and welcome. Today we're at the Polar Land in Legoland Billund. Now this is where the real life penguins are located, plus the quickest roller coaster of the actual theme park, and it's just next door to the Lego Movie 2 section, so you will see some non-ice themed colours just to the left, just there, the nice purples, greens and yellows. So this is take 2 of this Polar Land area. This is a completely different month because stupidly I did not record the ice pilot building menu. So if you have seen anything from the Lego house with regards to how you actually order your food, basically it's the same sort of thing, but instead of getting food, you obviously then create the ride experience that you want for this. Now not only that, they have added in some new models, and they are in the process of, when this was being filmed, adding in a new thing for the little ones and the big ones to do. Now that is now open, because this was filmed a month or two prior to you actually seeing it, because of the backlog of videos that I've got to get through. Now if you can translate this for me, that would be absolutely splendid. But I do love the models that are here, and I used to collect all the original theme of this. So the Antarctica sets, I think a popular theme when they first came out, and then I did at one point have an idea to create sort of like an ice sort of city, and then that just sort of, as it always does, fell on its face. But there is some nice models within this section dotted around in the actual area of the theme park, and it goes all the way back as well. Now we will go through and round. This is now a completely different part of the day. That edit was really smooth. Completely different part of the day, because I've added this in now because I filmed it. The first thing I did was film this, then I went off and I came back in because I didn't want to miss doing this. So we will come round and through, and we'll have a look at basically the viewing area, because I was hoping that the actual ride would be going. It wasn't, so we then ended up going around. But the good thing is, the reason why I came in here is, as you look to the left, you can see the queue. Now there isn't any, so it's just basically walk on. Well, you think it's a walk on. This part is a walk on, and then there is actually a queue on the other side. I know it sounds very confusing, but you will see it in a second, so it's nice and simple. So this is the big pilot ride. Now this was closed apparently just because of COVID reasons. I thought it was getting a full refurb, but when I actually spoke to the member of staff last time I came here, it was just because this attraction was indoors, so it has been shut for a good while. Now it does take up a huge square footage as well. Now I actually genuinely thought there was a big Star Wars display close to around here, or it was further back, which I think we might see within this video, but I was completely wrong with regards to that. There was an area for some Star Wars bits, but I thought it was where the Lego Movie 2 section is. But apparently that whole land is brand new. I had no idea with regards to that whatsoever, so I learned something new from the comment section. So that is why I do ask you guys to comment all the time if this is your local park or if you've been here, and just to let everybody else in on what's going on with the park from the time this has been uploaded, and so on and so forth. So I'm learning bits and pieces every single day, which is nice and exciting. So if anybody knows what is going to be going on with the jousting section, which is at the back end of this section, let me know. I want to know what's going on with that, because every time I walk past it, it's never open. I know it is for concerts and things like that, but do you know if it is only solely for that or what? Because I know it did get closed because it was making the park too busy. I think I got that in the translation of one of the comments, but I could be completely off with regards to that. Right, coming through, we're now going to see how you actually build the menu for the ice pilots, and hopefully we will see some penguins and some other little bits and pieces as well within this video, because I can't remember what I filmed. I've literally just dropped and dragged and hit play and doing a voiceover over it, because I need to get through a load of videos in a really short period of time. So if I actually looked at it first, it would be more clever. So I don't know what's coming, just like you. This is what I should have filmed last time. So you get given a little key card, that white key card. You pick and choose your height. I guess that's about right. The member of staff was beside me because there was nobody else there, but I just then literally picked and chose everything that I wanted to do. Now I thought he was doing this just to sort of speed up this process because there was no queue on the other side, but there was actually quite a large queue, which was annoying. So it is what it is. So I picked and chose, went for that. It's nice and simple. He hit tick. And then that's it, you just get going. So you can see all of those building stations, everything to the left-hand side, there's lots of them, so you can make all of those up. And obviously you can't have anything in your pockets or anything when you go onto this ride, because I was about to say this is the reason why. And I could walk all the way around, get to the end of the queue, and then there was an error where everybody had to get off and get back on again, and I ended up not actually getting on the ride with that ticket. But I will add in a little bit of footage at the end of this video of what that actually looked like. Now we're going back to the original video where I cut that bit into, so we're just going to go back in and see if the ride is going on this time, because hopefully it is. If not, I will add in that footage at the end. I'm a bit of a mare with this one. But we will go in, have a look round. Obviously it is a completely different part of the day. You've already seen some of these bits and pieces. That's the bit to the left hand side, again not really much of a queue, and as we come round you can see them just being loaded on this time. So again, there was no joy with that, but it is a big spacious platform, and you can see this time there was literally nobody there at all, so we just did a full loop. Bit of a waste of everybody's time. Do apologise, but it is what it is. So at least you get to see the nice tracks and just how big that ride actually is, and it would have been perfect if that was just shooting around at that point, but again it wasn't. So it wasn't the best start to this video, to be honest. It's not been the most smoothest 6 minutes of a voiceover I've ever done, but let's hopefully now I'm clever enough to hunt down some real life penguins, or at least point out where they are. Now everything to the left hand side is obviously the big roller coaster. To the right hand side is where we actually started this video. Like I said, this has been split into 2 separate videos. So you have got the Polar Expedition. All of this, that's where you get your photos, and there's a little shop and everything from that. Now again, there's no queue to this one either. This part of the park at this part of the day was absolutely empty. So where you can see the polar base, you could have just gone straight on and just queued for minutes and just got straight on there and done whatever it is you needed to do. Now obviously, like most theme parks, you have to exit from a shop, which is obviously always a clever marketing thing. But again, I do like all the Lego detail they've added in with the models and all the other bits and pieces. They have got some larger models within this section compared to some of the others, and they've got quite a lot of them as well. I find that this land is very open, so I'm assuming, because I've never ever seen it and witnessed it myself, that it's very open as you come round, because that's where the gates are open to then go into the jousting section, and that's where they do all the concerts and everything like that, and that's why it is so open there. But I've always wanted to know, and always been quite confused, why the castle bit for the jousting is so far away from the actual dragon roller coaster. At one point, did it used to connect as a horseshoe from one to another? I think I've asked that as a couple of questions before. Now you can see they've actually moved all the queue line, so that's what all those gap fill-ins were. This is moved, the queue line's moved because of this. So this is the new icebreakers. They've added in 3 of these. Everyone is completely different. Now this is now up and running. You build a boat, you go from one bit to another, and you basically race each other from start to finish and make sure your boat does not fall apart. So the plan is to be back here for Halloween so we can experience this ourselves. Quite surprised they didn't add one of these into Legoland Windsor in the pirate section where the log flume ride is. They ended up adding a new pay-to-play water shooter there instead. So each park gets new upgrades all the time and completely different. But like I said, I think they've added 3 of these in. I know there's definitely 2 because there's one in the Legorado section as well. They have got one of these at the Legoland Dubai water park. I have seen it work, and it literally is from top to bottom, but that is a completely different shape. So be interesting to see how that one loops around and goes. Now I do believe we are coming into an all-you-can-eat pizza to the right. Do I go down and have a look at the penguins, or do we just stop and see? I don't think I go down because it is so busy. It was the last video that I did. We got a nice close-up of the penguin. So you can see there are plenty of penguins in there, and if you squint you'll be able to see 1 or 2 of them. But the other side of the glass is where the ride actually goes round. So the ride actually slows down. You can see the penguins in their sort of home, and then the ride carries on. So now we are going to carry on as well. So we're going to come back up. There's a load of penguin information on the right hand side. It's all covered as well, so you can sit down and you can just have a bite to eat. And I think the penguins have been fed at that point, so that's why that is a little bit busy. Pizza and pasta. Now this bit was not open, but I think we have a quick look at all the pricing structure and everything else, which is obviously always handy. So 219 Danish kroner. Anything to go by the one at Legoland Windsor. There is a good selection of pizza to choose from, and you can just go in and absolutely stuff your face. I have never been able to walk through the front door of that one because of the time that I always get to this part of the park, because it's either after lunch and it's shut, or I've come out of season because it doesn't need to be open because there's so many any other smaller eateries open anyway. So one day I will try and get in there and actually take some photos on the inside and try and actually get some lunch from there as well. Because every time I come here, I always end up getting a hot dog. So an all-you-can-eat pizza sounds good fun to me. But this is the bit I want to know from everybody. This is the massive area. This is where you walk down, and it's basically to a dead end 90% of the time. Now, in the comments below, you guys have let me know that it's where they do their concerts, but they did stop doing the concerts because it got too busy. But it looks like they've got a load of tents and things going back there again. But where you would put the artwork information, which you see in the big frame on the right hand side, there's nothing there. So I don't know if it's just for all the staff parties and things like that were going on at this time, because this was filmed the week before LegoCon. And obviously now their 90th birthday is in full swing at all the parks and the Legoland, and the Lego house, shall I say. But you can see all of this has been added with the tents and bits and pieces. So if you were there or you know what it was about, please let us know. But also the jousting section and all of that side of stuff. Why has it been put there? What's the purpose for it? Do they do like live shows and things? I've always wanted to know. I've never seen it work, and you can't get any further than that. But if you are local, let us know. I really would like to know. Anyway, get off that because I'm getting obsessed with that. To the right hand side, if you look at the floor, there is a water bowl for the dogs, and yes, it is made out of Lego, so it is a dog-friendly park. I haven't seen any of them at Legoland Windsor. This is the first park that I've seen them at at a Legoland park, shall I say, with regards to having that sort of thing down. But they have got a lot of different things at a lot of different Legolands, so it's always good to stop and have a look around and obviously have a look at the models and all that side of stuff. But this area, especially if you want massive open space just to sit down, plenty of tables and chairs, so even if you bring your own food, you're away from everywhere. But if you have been following the rest of the playlist, as you come into the park, nothing's cramped, but there's a lot of seats and everything that are usually always being used, because obviously that's where people tend to go. But this is the far end of the park. You can't go any further than that from this bit, and that to me has always been nice and quiet. But guys, I am starting to run out of time, so I'll say it again, if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I will add in a little bit of footage from the previous Polar video with regards to that ride working, and then that's it. I'll leave you all to it. But guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da. Right, complete change of plan. Can I find the other footage? Absolutely not. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at this menu again, and then I'm going to add the sound back in and join the queue line. And all I want you to do is watch how long it takes to load this ride up, and then the nightmare it causes when you don't empty your pockets and then the ride has to be restarted. That is one of the main reasons why I didn't get on this ride, because of just that reason. It doesn't matter. I could have just waited another 10-15 minutes and then gone round, but I was really running out of time towards the end of the day. So I'll let you soak in sort of the atmosphere of what it's like to be in here, but just pay attention to how much work the members of staff actually have to do to keep this ride running smoothly.